Krishna devotees. Till now, we have wonderful presentations and bhajan drama by kids. We enjoyed. With that, we are moving on to the next part of today's Sunday Feast program. Is Sunday Feast lecture. Today's class will be given by His Grace Ram Tirtha Prabhu. He is very familiar to our congregation. Prabhu does not need any introduction, but it's our pleasure to glorify devotees. Prabhu took initiation recently and he is giving his first lecture. Prabhu is leading Prasadam distribution team for many years. He is very knowledgeable in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhu memorized many slokas. He is a very sincere devotee. With that, we will welcome Ram Tirtha Prabhu with loudly chanting one time Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear? Thank you for Satsar Prabhu and Jeshupada Mataji for giving us this opportunity. I'm not qualified or not what we say is in the bhakti practicing it, but they give me opportunity to purify myself and then to become a good devotee. So I take this opportunity to learn myself in the shastras and share my realization with you. So we'll start with, we have a very short window today. I've been cutting off my lecture. So now we have 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So we'll do a quick prayer, the introduction prayers, Mangalasa prayers, and then we'll start the class. Om Agnanatindasya Ganachalakaya Chakshurmilitam Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Sri Vaishnavam Cha Soyupam Sagrajatam Sagan Ragunam Adanvitam Siva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deyam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Vancha kalpatrubhasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanabhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today, Prabhu, can you share the 9.34? Or can you, there's no TV? Okay, that's fine, Prabhu. I don't have any presentation to share. So I'll just, recite the words. Yeah, if you can share that. So today we'll discuss the verse, the 9th chapter, the most confidential knowledge, and then the verse 34. Manmana bhava madbhakto Matyajimam namaskuru. Mame vaisasi yuktaivam. Atmanam matparayana. So just for the time being, just because of the time short, so just two devotees. So one Prabhu and one Matadis. Okay.
Manmanabhakto
Madhyajivam namaskuru. Mame vaisasi yuktaivam. Atmanam matparayanam. Anyone, Prabhus? Manbhava Madhyajimam namaskuru. Mame vaisasi yuktaivam. Atmanam matparayana. The translation, this verse by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Okay, so the most powerful verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita. I picked this verse not because it is powerful because of my ignorance in the beginning. I picked it because this was the verse first I ever recited 10 years ago when my daughter went summer camp, and the back of her t-shirt, this verse was there. And that's how, me and my daughter were reciting, and that's how I connected to this verse in 10 years ago. But at that time, my knowledge is like even now is less, but from there to here, when even last couple of months, when I was reciting this verse, and then this is the most powerful verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita, when I was reading multiple acharyas commentaries and then the classes, and then everybody has given so much deep meaning of this just 4 lines of verse. So I'll share those relations that I learned, and then by my Shiksha Guru Sitsar Prabhu that have been teaching me for the last 10 years, 7 or 8 years, and then my Guru Maharaj, Rumpad Maharaj. So thank you for blessing me with this knowledge that today I'm sitting here and then giving a class. I'm not qualified, but you're all 2K, spending a time with me. So this verse, the very beginning when I learned it, so they said this verse is essence of essence of essence of essence. They were showing me that 4 times that essence, right? 4. So the reason why they say that this essence, I know the entire Bhagavad Gita is essence of all the Puranas, Ithasas, everything. So that's the, that is essence. But even in the Bhagavad Gita, it's like 3 sections. First, chapter 1 to 6 is, Karma Kanda, and then 7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga, and then 13 to 18 is the Jnana Yoga. So those are 3 different sections, and in that, right in the middle is the essence. That section, Bhakti Yoga, is referred as another essence, Bhakti Yoga. And then even in that Bhakti Yoga, the verse, the chapter 9, which is the most comprehensive knowledge that Krishna puts it in exactly in the center of the Bhagavad Gita, is another essence. So far, we have 3 essences, and then this verse is recited in end of the 34th, the end of this chapter 9, the 34th verse is summed up entire the most comprehensive knowledge. So it has all those teachings that are the Bhakti Yoga, how it is to practice, in just summed up in 4 lines of this. So that's why it is, Acharyas refer as this essence of essence of essence. And one more reason this was essence is there are very clear instructions in this verse what a devotee should do. And then not only what a devotee should do, and also the Lord's supremacy, what he is promising in this verse. So yesterday I went to outside and then there were like Jesus Christ people, they were sharing it. When they said, what God cannot do. That's interesting. Like, what God cannot do. And then they were saying one of them is God won't lie. That is like, I he says this verse, same verse. He says, Mom, he says, the last one, like, right, Mame versus Satyante Pratijani Priyosime. This is absolute truth. And then the reason I'm sharing is because you are the most, my dearest friend. So he repeated this verse twice. The first line is repeated twice. So that much, the importance, the essence of this verse. So we'll go a little bit deep into that in the this verse, and then I'll share my realization in 3 different sections on the same verse. What is that introduction, and how it is the deeper meaning, and then how it is realization, right? So I'll share in the 3. So the very beginning, Prabhupada was in the purport. He was referring that the people, some of the unscrupulous commentators are making it that they were making about this is not Krishna is talking about his it is his body. But Krishna is transcendental, he's no different from his body, Krishna himself, Krishna name and Krishna body. He's transcendental, he's Sachidananda. We are asats, we are asat. We don't have, that we're not eternal. We don't have that knowledge. And then they are making all the derogatory comments. And then Prabhupada was quoting that, So that's the reason we have Prabhupada in the disciplic succession, that, we read the authorized, Acharya scriptures. So even in this same chapter, a couple of verses before, even Krishna mentions it, people like him, like them, comment it, Avajananti mamuda manusham tanam ashramam parambhavajanto mamabhuto maheshwara. People deride of him that, he took a human form. He himself quoted in that, but still, when they give comment to that, they thought, this is not about Krishna, this is the mind. There's no different, Krishna's mind, Krishna's body, Krishna word, everything is the absolute same. So even in the Brahma Samhita, the Brahma recited, Ramadi Murteshu Kalani Minatistam Nana Vataram Akarodu Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. He has taken many forms, but Kintu, he has taken Krishna Swayam Samabhavat. He's manifested Swayam Paramapumanyo. Prabhupada uses the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parama is supreme. He says, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he has taken the form, human form, but he is transcendental. So that's what, the Prabhupada was, it was the very beginning in the mentioning of the purport. So we'll go into the deep, as I said, the 3 sections that was talking about. Let's go into reveal the first one. So if you look at this verse in the first line, it says that, manmana bhava madbhakto, right? So what is the manmana? Is think. How do we think? We think with our mind, right? So we, manmana bhava madbhakto, become devotee. And then how we can become devotee? Devotee is something, it is our, the settle, right? It is not like an external, you have to become. So manmana bhava madbhakto is completely our consciousness, our emotions in the subtle, right? Matyaji, worshiping, and namaskuru means offer obeisance. How we do those? Those are in external visual actions, right? Like, with our body. So worshiping in the devotees, the deities, and then we pay obeisances. So there are, what this verse is telling, that, the devotion is not just subtle or not a gross. It is the combination of gross and subtle. So you have to engage your body, or engage your mind, engage your senses. That is where then only you will have a pure devotion service. So that is the manmana bhava madbhakto. So if you are not engaging, especially when you're chanting, that I'll oftentimes, the beats goes on, and then I don't even realize that, the verse is completed, the round's completed, because not engaged my mind. It's not, then when you're not engaged in a mind, then you won't get connected, and then your heart won't get cleansed, and you are doing like mechanical. That mechanical, even the laptop does. If you put the Prabhupada once in our home, it resets 24/7, but it doesn't have any conscious, and it will be like the material. It made with Panchaputas, it will be there even for 100 years. If even it resides, it will be the same. But when we recite it, there is a transformation. So we have to get connected to that. So the same in that line, I believe in the second or third chapter, or verse which talks about the hierarchy. Indriyani paranyo hyur indriyobhyo paramanaha manasasta parabuddhir yobuddho parastasta. Radha Dhamma Prabhu gave a class on this. Very beautiful class. Our senses are the dull, or superior to the dull matter. And then over our senses, we have our mind. And then over the mind is intelligence. And over the intelligence is the soul. So we have to have our mind use our intelligence and control our senses. So this is a hierarchy. The senses, mind, intelligence, and the soul. So if you do not engage our mind, focusing, controlling on the senses will take over. It's just like the chariot, right? He controls the horses controls with reins. If he cannot control it, the chariot is strong enough and knows which horse is going, then the horse will take a right. Then what happens? The chariot gets collapsed. So the reins are those that is the mind, and then the charioteer is the driver is the intelligence. He has intelligence which horse is going in which direction. So you have to have the mind to have intelligence, and with that intelligence, then it can control the senses. Then we'll have our whatever the practice sadhana we do, that will get connected. So that's this first section, that is the takeaway is that, okay, the bhakti is not external. Bhakti is not just, within the law. If someone say, oh, and I'm always thinking it. Yeah, I'm in the back in the mind, so I'm always thinking the God. But when your external body is always in the material world, it's senses attracting a sense object, like horse take away the mind, then definitely your senses will take away your mind. You won't have whatever you're thinking, back of mind thinking will quickly dissipate. So unless until you have your senses control yourself in senses, and then your mind get focused on it. So you need to have both. Okay. So the next what in this section is that is God is giving his supremacy. He's saying that the results that you sure will come. That is the Lord's supremacy. Like I said, Lord's promise will never be he's not a lie. He's giving the promise, and he's giving unconditional, right? He's not putting any whose favor or not. Whoever does it bhakti, then he will be mercy. It's like nowadays, we have always condition. If you do this, then take, right? There is always in the mutual condition, but in the Lord is not he's favor to everyone. He's just asking you practice it, and then you will be the most dearest. So before then we can go to the next section. We'll review the further deeper into what are these. So in the detail, manmana. What is the manmana? Is think, right? We have to always think. Mad bhakto, devotee. So why they use the think and then the devotee? Isn't it the same? The devotee always thinks, right? Manmana, mad bhakto. But there are people who just thinks in the negative way, like Kamsa, Ravana, and then they also think, but they're not devotee. They think, in the anxiety that, where is he? And then when I can kill him, or, he's going to come and kill. They all think in the negative way, Ravana, Kamsa, and then Shishupal in the envious. But a devotee always thinks in submissive way. So manmanaba madbhakto. We should think always, Lord, to render service, and then glorify him, and being thankful for giving us this human body, so that whatever the connection we lost with our soul, with Lord, and then we can reestablish. So we should always think. So, and then our mind in this material world, it's always when you go out, they have all these material sense objects, you get distracted. When you are constantly engaged in the devotion, and then when you keep the Krishna in the circle, the beginning, very beginning is keeping the center is very difficult. Even when I start to keep a center, sometimes I said, okay, there are priorities changes, and then everybody, I am not perfect. It took me a long time to really get conviction into that. But at least what I realized it, okay, keep anything that you do, is it something is making it closer, maybe not to the center, but at least is it keeping it in the circle, beginning. Then you can you work on it and you can work into the center. So that is, you should always think. You should always think of the, look at the deities, the form is come up in that Shavigraha form. And we should always, meditate on that. We should always meditate on the form in the Brahma Samhita. Venu Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksam Bharahar Vadam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarva Kotika Maniya Visesha Shobham Govinda Mahadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He is the most beautiful. Even the 1,000 cupids you can mesmerize. That much beauty of the Krishna. So the more we read the scriptures, the more we recite these verses, the more we understand it, then automatically our back of mind will be thinking. We don't need to really say, okay, we should think. Mom always thinks about that, their kids, right? It doesn't have to come, okay, I need to think, because she has all connected. And then when kids think of their mom. So we are, even the Krishna is Parama Purusha, right? He is the one source seed giving, and we are part and parcel it. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuto Sanatana Manasa Shastranani Prakristani Karshita. This word Satsasar Prabhu, the day one when I met to one, I think he has recited maybe 1,000 times. By him just reciting it, this is the second verse that I memorized it. Constantly, like every class, he was reminding that, okay, you are part and parcel of Krishna, you are part and parcel, you are not separate. So we should always, if you think that, then you'll always get naturally connected with Krishna. Okay, so we should always manmana bhava mad bhakto, means we need to become devotee, think in the devotion to the Lord. And then we need to madhyaji, worshipping. Worshipping is the external, right? We need to worship with the deity form. We need to have express that thing. So it is, we can decorate the devotees. We can do the offerings, diyas, and then we can dress up. So we can do so many ways that gets us, attached. So Bhakti Yoga, Prabhupada gives a very nice definition. He says, loving devotion service. It's a service. It is not that something, oh, I need Prabhu, if the Krishna, I need to pass exam. I need not our big list that we go, and then that's how I started it. Always, okay, whenever before the exam, I just go and then, pray. Yes, that is one way of praying it, because, Krishna himself said, there are 4 types of people who will come. But bhakti is that, giving ourselves, doing a devotional service. Then only we'll have a loving relationship with the Lord, just like a mom and a parent, the kids, right? If you do not have the service to them, there is no love. I cannot have a kids and, okay, yeah, let them be on their own. You think, you have that kind of love and affection? No, it's because of the service, that unconditional that mom puts it. That's why, we like mom, right? So that same thing, we need to have that service to the Lord. Then, we'll establish the love. Naturally, we'll establish it. So we need to have that unconditional love. So, and then in the nectar of devotions, Sri Rupa Goswami recites one verse. This is Anyabhilasha Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Rut. Anukulena Krishnanusilanam. it has to be favorable. It's not like something I need it. Okay, the big list of wish list and go it, right? It has to, we have to have that ankulena. It's anything that we do, it has to, make our devotion more further progress to the Lord. So and then also it is anusilanam is what Acharya says. It is continuous. It is not like, okay, get up morning and then take a, darshan and then gone. It is devotion is every minute. There is no vacation. Just like our japa morning calls is always goes, and no matter midnight, 12, 1 o'clock, we had a program come back, and then morning 5 o'clock, it goes on, right? So that's how the bhakti is. There is no vacation. You constantly do it, and it has to be favorable. So in this, actually, when you're talking about favorable, one of the things that is remind me, I want to share is Bhishma Dev. He is a great warrior, right? And he wants to had a desire to fight with Krishna, but Krishna took an oath that he will not pick up weapon, right? So, but he wants to fight. That was his desire, but that is against his Krishna's will, because Krishna said he doesn't want to, take a weapon, but he has a strong desire. So though you say that it is a, pratikul, but it is anukul, because it is to the Lord's to show, just like a son wants to show his skills to the son, to the father, and then Bhishma Dev he's a great warrior. He wants to show it. So he's wants to show fight with him, not to to venge or not to in the fight to kill or do it. So in Bhishma Stuti, he explains that the pastimes by the Bhishma Dev. Swanigamamapahayamat pratignam radhamadikrutam avaplato radasta dratarata charana bayachalagur hariraiva tamibam katotariya. Krishna broke his promise to fulfill the promise of Bhishma Dev. He does that because he never lie, but for the purpose of devotee, he can take any blame. He will, broke his. So when Bhishma Dev was going in arrows, and then when it pierced to the Arjuna and got bled, and he got so angry and he got down and pulled it, the wheel, and then he went just like a lion, right? So he went to the Bhishma Dev. What did Bhishma Dev did? He just simply surrendered. He said, okay, this is what I'm waiting for it. And then that Leela pastimes just ended exactly at that minute. The war ended at that day. So Bhishma, Lord can fulfill, any desire, as long as, you have to have, the favorable to your devotion service. So if Krishna wants, he can, kill anyone, right? And if Krishna wants to protect, he can protect anyone. All it is our devotion to the Lord. So, and it has to be favorable. Whatever the devotion we do has to be favorable. So in Rupa Goswami, we talk more in the one pattern that I've seen is in the devotion. We always talk about what are the negatives that we can take away. Like even in the second chapter, if you wanted to have attached to Krishna, very beginning, Krishna spoke, how you fall down. He didn't say, how you can raise. Right? So if you understand what are your negativities in our impurities, and when you take away the impurities, then it will become automatically pure. So same thing, we should always work on what is our unfavorable to the devotion. Then if you work on if you know it and if you work on those, it automatically you will have the favorable. So in the Rupa Goswami, in the Nectar of Instructions, this class, Prabhu gave on several days of this class. I still remember it by just listening to his, this verse, this one on those several weeks. So I remember this. Atyahara prayacha prajalpa niyamagraha janasanga laulancha shabdir bhaktir vinashyati. If you are having, over and overing it, and then overeating it, and then talking too much prajalpa, not necessary to the devotion, which it takes in a way, and then you're practicing your scripture just for the sake of niyamagraha. You're not, practicing it, right? And then you are associating with non-devotees. And then you are the greedy. If you have these 6, then you cannot, have it. These are all unfavorable. So we should work on this too, to how to come over this. And then automatically we'll have a favorable too. So then we'll have the paying obeisances. So worshipping is, we have this loving devotion service. And the paying obeisances is like, we offer ourselves, like, we pay obeisances, we bow down to the Lord in the submissive, because he has when you bow down is literally that, okay, this body is you, and you gave us, the opportunity. So like, you need to pay obeisances, that as if that, the Lord puts his lotus feet, so that his marks, there are 19 marks on the lotus feet, and those will be touching on your head. Not that, you want to, your head to decorate with, that, with all ornaments or having anything, that's not more decoration. Having it, the Lord's lotus feet on your head is the more, most decorating way. So we should pay the obeisances, and especially when we are obeisance paying, and then the Prabhus, they should do a dandavat pranam if their health permits. Some of them they cannot, is the age. Even now, when I had my initiation, and Kamalaya Prabhu said, okay, you have to give dandavat to every devotee. Then my body after that, couldn't handle, because I was doing 30-40. I mean, we can't even do, so we have to pay obeisances to the Lord. And it has to be the dandavat pranam, means all those 7 or 8 angas, like, foot, knees, and then hand, and then head, and mind, and lips, chest, trunk, right? There's 8. And then Matajis, they need to do a panchanga. Their chest is more sacred, so they should not touch it. They should use 5, which is legs, knees, hands, head, and mind. So we should, and when we are praying these obeisances, we should completely give to the Lord. Acharya is quoted as a BMW. That word is a little bit against, because I work for another competitor of this. So I said, okay, they should give BMW for GM. So we should give body, mind, words for God's mercy. So that will fulfill my work ethics. So, okay. So we should, so that's the second version of this verse. So how, we know that we should include our body, mind, into the pure devotion to practice. It's not just external, internal. And the second is, we need to do a worship, we need to do pay obeisances, and we need to do, complete surrender. So that is the second. And then let's come to the last, the conclusion. A short, I have to cut lot, so I was just going, and sorry, a few more minutes, Prabhu. So there are a lot given multiple places, multiple options, oftentimes quotes it. So here also he has mentioned 4. Manmana, Madhvatpo, Madhyaji, Namaskuru. He has given 4. Manmana is always think of me. And in this material world, in the very beginning, coming a devotee is always think of me, is going to put, okay, I have so many things, wife, family, kids, work, money, bank balance, those are all filled with me, but not, I cannot. So, but this is something that the Nitya Siddhas that are in the eternal Goloka, the practice, they have a pure spontaneous love, right? So they are called, Ragatmaka Bhakti. So they do that, for them is unattended, unattached, unmotivated, the spontaneous love. So that is the highest, the Ragatmaka. Then the next is become a devotee. So that is a little bit less. It's called Raganuga, where they follow the Nitya Siddhas in Raganuga. So Anuga is following Ragatmaka. So Ragatmika is always think Ragatmika is always think Raganika is the devotee. Then otherwise the worship, the third level is the Vaidehi sadhana. Like, we have rules and regulations that, we follow, when we take a vote that, oh, I'm going to do it. The rules are because that, we always tend to get deviation, right? But these rules and regulations will help us. Raganuga, the Ragatmika, they don't have any rules and regulations. They go way or beyond of the rules. They don't need it because they practice it. So there is the hierarchy. So Lord is telling that, okay, it is the Manmana, Madbhakto, Matyaji. Even if you cannot do all that, just bow down, namaskar. So the practical implementation is God is giving multiple options. You don't have to start in the high, but practice. You can eventually come. Anything. You start with bow down, namaskar. Right? So in the chapter 12, the beautiful verses of 8 to 12. Like, in that also, it says, the second verse, beginning, I forgot, is explaining about the abhyas. You just practice it. So all we have to do is just have faith. Prabhupada uses the word, have faith, shraddha. And then that, starts, you just come. Today, you had many other things that you could do, but you came here. That that faith that you put it in Lord, and then that, okay, yes, I need to practice it. Then when you have that faith and come to here to one and then have that faith, then you don't have to start in the top, but you can start from the bottom, go down, Shraddha, with that faith. You have association with the devotees, having association with the devotee, and then you slowly develop to the bhajana kriya. Then it'll take away all your impurities, another nivritti will happen. When that happened, another nivritti, then your devotion becomes steady, nishta. Then you will have a taste, ruchi. When you have the ruchi, then you'll automatically get attachment. Whatever that you have, that material attachment that gets detached, and then you have an attachment. When you have that, then you have a love, and then bhava will get into the state. All it starts with that siddha. Somehow, even we in the decade ago, that's just enough faith. One word took us, and the lotus feet of Satsal Prabhu. And then since then, that faith has become stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I am not holding, he is holding my hand. He is pulling me wherever he goes. Just like in the shopping mall, when you go and then, when you put your kids in the cart, they don't follow, you just take them. That's how, Prabhu, when we somehow the God's mercy, we were moved from Houston to here, and we had so many friends there for 15 years, and we were thinking why we moved, but God has given us, there's a reason. When we came here, the only association is the devotees association. The only devotee that we met is the Prabhu. He holds us so much that, he won't leave us anywhere. So that's I want to share it because, and then one more thing is, the first day we met and the day today, there's no difference. It's exactly the same. I'm sure everybody feels the same. I feel more personal, and then I'm sure you also feel more personal. It's like, polymorphic monotheism that Prabhu teaches is inside, has like that. So thank you for Satya Prabhu. Sorry if I go over. Thank you for giving an opportunity. So sorry, please forgive me if I. Yeah. So if I misspoken anything, it's out of my ignorance. I'm not a perfect, but at the same time, I'm not giving up. I keep my faith, and then he's holding me. So I'll just blindly follow it. So thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. That's a wonderful class, Prabhu. Would like to hear more, but due to the lack of time, we had to cut short. So we have no questions today. So all devotees, please rise in your place. We'll have Aarti. Ananya going to sing the Aarti. Radha Damodar Prabhu will do Pujari service. Hare Krishna.
Probably little further.
Hare Krishna. Matajis, please move forward. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Bhajan Krishna Kanaya, Jaman Krishna Kanaya, Jaman Krishna Kanaya, Jaman Krishna Kanaya, Bhajan Radhe 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 Krishna, Bhajan Radhe 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 Radha Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Everybody, please go down to deities. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमती श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामकुंड राधाकुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मई यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। बृहद मृदंगा की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now we'll have Narsimha Aarti.
One time. One time. No.
One time. Namaste, Namaste, Sheila Taka Nakalaye Ikona Shima Parakona Shima Yato Narsimha Yato Narsimha 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 Prabhate Jai Jagadish Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Maharaj ki Jai the Koti Vaishnavram.
Thank you, Ananya. That's a wonderful Kirtan. Thank you, Radha Damodar Prabhu, for the Pujari service. Today's announcements, Radha Damodar Prabhu and Atmamaya Mataji want to sponsor the Sunday feast in the name of Atmamaya's Mataji's father, Sadasivan, on his birthday anniversary. We'll chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the benefit of that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have already saw the Gaura Purnima pre-celebrations are already started this week. We are continuing next week also.